Hi, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
Why are we lying on the workbench?
Because we are mentally and physically exhausted.
Why is that, my friend?
Because we just spent the last few hours painstakingly sanding the workbench surface.
Why did we have to do that?
Because we were inexperienced and didn't know the limitations of applying shellac to a worktop surface that we planned on resurfacing from time to time.
I'm sorry you feel bad. I love you, man.
I love you too, man.
And we love you for watching and subscribing to our channel.
Okay, so Dan learned a valuable lesson today, a very frustrating valuable lesson that I want to share with you as a quick tip. Shellac, I've been touting shellac as my all-time favorite finish for different projects, including my benchtop. Now, unfortunately, shellac touts itself as being recoatable. The unfortunate part with a benchtop is that it gets wear and tear on it. So a little bit of dings here, a little bit of dents there, a little bit of stain here, a little bit of stuff that you eventually want to sand off and remove. You don't just want to recoat it. So with our latest project, the refinishing of the table that Deborah did, we were a little sloppy because I didn't really care because I was going to recoat my benchtop. Unfortunately, I learned that shellac reflows with the addition of heat. What creates heat is sanding it. When I first started sanding the top, I just grabbed my Festool Rotex sander, give that a whirl, and just put it in random orbital mode, and the paper plugged up in like about 2 square inches. So I thought, maybe I need to go a little bit faster. So I locked it up in Rotex and I put some 80 grit on there. Man, this should do the job. Nope, it only gummed up just as fast. So I thought, okay, well, I need something that's going to remove the material quickly. So what removes material quicker than a belt sander? So I started with 80 grit on there because I really don't want to destroy the top. And 80 grit plugged up in about 3 square inches. So I thought, okay, well, let's get this done real quick. I slapped some 40 grit on there. 40 grit didn't fare any better. In fact, it got worse. So it took me, like I say, half a dozen belts and half a dozen sanding pads and a dozen of this, and I finally got it stripped. But even the smallest amount of residual shellac plugged up the disc like right away. It was terrible. I know I could have gone to paint stripper, but I hate paint stripper. It's messier than all get out, and I just don't enjoy doing it. I was going through the belts and the discs so fast, I even sacrificed one of my old bench chisels that I pretty much destroyed in the process. I can resharpen it. To try to clean this as they were running. It kind of worked. I was able to reuse the belts once before they just got destroyed, but of course when you hit the sandpaper with the metal, it just takes the grit off anyways. So I don't know what I'm going to recoat this with. I don't want to leave it bare. I'd like to put some sort of finish on it. So I'm thinking just an outdoor Varathane possibly would be one of the answers. I'm also thinking of maybe just using an antique paste varnish. I don't know which one would be better, so if you have any comments on this, drop it in the comments below and make a suggestion for me. And whatever you guys come up with, I'll give it a whirl. And then in a year's time, we'll try and recoat it again because the benchtop will need recoating again. So my tip for you guys is don't use shellac on your tops if you plan on refinishing it whatsoever.
I made the decision to use an indoor Varathane as recommended by my paint rep at the local lumber store. She also recommended an alternative of lacquer, but I expressed my concerns of lacquer reflowing with heat just like the shellac did. She agreed with me. Besides, she's cute and offered to help sand the workbench in a year if the Varathane poses a problem. In between the 4 coats of Varathane, I sanded the surface slightly to get rid of the dust nibs. Well, and the bodies of the dozens of no-see-ums that are apparently highly attracted to the Varathane aroma. This Varathane process is a little more involved than shellac, as you have to apply a minimum of 4 coats, with 4 to 8 hour dry times and sometimes overnight between coats. The application can also be tricky, as air bubbles are a common issue, but if you are careful and follow some simple processes to reduce the air bubbles, you can get a smooth top coat. So never shake Varathane, only gently stir. Use a flat foam brush with a very light spreading action, and you too can achieve a smooth and hopefully durable finish just like we did.
Look who's turned into a big, good, patient shop dog. Shellac.